Today, we're diving deep into David Bach's The Automatic Millionaire. Now, this is a book with a pretty bold promise, a system to build some serious wealth without a budget and without needing a ton of discipline. Sounds a little too good to be true, right? Well, let's see what it's all about.
Okay, let's start with a number that might just blow your mind. Over your entire life, you are probably going to work around 90,000 hours. Think about that. All that time, all that effort. But here's the real question. After all that is said and done, how much of the money you earned will you actually have to show for it? For most of us, the answer is kind of scary. And hey, if you feel like you're just spinning your wheels financially, you are definitely not alone. It's a massive issue. The data shows that a staggering 7 out of 10 people are living paycheck to paycheck. It's like you're running on a hamster wheel and just can't get off.
So what's the advice we always hear? You need a budget, right? We're told to track every single penny, put every purchase in a category, and basically feel guilty every time we buy a cup of coffee. But what if that advice is actually the reason so many of us fail? David Bach doesn't pull any punches on this. He just comes right out and says it. For most people, budgets just don't work. Think about it. It's like a super restrictive diet. It takes so much willpower, it creates stress, and what happens? Most people just give up. We need a totally different way to think about this. So to show us this other way, Bach tells this incredible story about a couple, Jim and Sue McIntyre. They were a totally normal couple who walked into his office one day and completely flipped his thinking about how to build wealth. They weren't fancy, high-income earners. They weren't Wall Street geniuses. Okay, get this. Their average income over their entire working lives was about 40 grand a year. Pretty modest, right? Yet, by the time they were 52 years old, they had a net worth of nearly $2 million. But here's the part that just floors everyone. When Meyerbock asked them for their budget, they said they didn't have one, never did. And that, right there, is the $1 million question. Well, the $2 million question, I guess. How in the world does a couple on a regular income become millionaires without a budget? Their answer is the secret sauce behind the entire automatic millionaire system.
Their secret was a simple but really powerful shift in thinking. Instead of trying to save whatever's left over at the end of the month, which is usually nothing, you save first. You make yourself the most important bill you have to pay.
Let's be really clear about what pay yourself first means. The second your paycheck hits your bank account, the very first chunk of money that moves is for you. Not for your rent, not for your credit card, not for groceries. You. That money for your future is automatically moved into your investment accounts before you even see it, before you can even think about spending it. So here's how you do it. The system is just 3 easy steps. First, you have to commit to the mindset. Pay yourself first. It's non-negotiable. Second, you need a target. A great place to start is to save the money you make in your first hour of work each day. That comes out to about 12.5% of your income. And third, and this is the magic ingredient, you make it automatic. You set up the transfers once and the money just moves on its own. No willpower needed. Okay, so you've got this money moving automatically. Awesome. But where should it go? Where do you point this automatic savings so it actually grows into real wealth? Well, Bach says that for most of us, there are 2 main escalators that have been proven to build wealth for generations. And those 2 escalators are stocks and real estate. The first one is about owning a piece of the entire economy, getting your slice of the world's most profitable companies. The second one is about owning the roof over your head and turning what's usually your biggest expense into your biggest asset. Now, when we talk about stocks, the philosophy here is boring is beautiful. Seriously, this is not about trying to be a day trader or finding the next hot stock. No way. It's about buying simple, super low-cost index funds that just track the whole market. With one single purchase, you can own a tiny piece of hundreds, even thousands of companies, and just let long-term growth do its thing. It's steady, it's simple, and it works. And then you have the second escalator, real estate. And wow, the numbers here are just staggering. In the US, the average homeowner has a net worth of over $400,000, and the average renter, just 10 grand. That is a 40 times difference. A huge reason for that is that your mortgage is basically a forced savings plan. Every single month, you're building up more ownership in a valuable asset. All right, so all of this might sound amazing, but I can already hear some of you thinking, there is no way I can find an extra 12% of my income right now. And that's totally fair. So the first step is actually to find the hidden money that you are already spending without realizing it. This brings us to Bach's most famous idea, the Latte Factor.
And look, it's not actually about coffee. It's a metaphor for all the small little things we spend money on without even thinking about it. You know, the subscriptions we forgot we have, the daily lunch we grab, the convenience store snacks. All those little drips add up to a huge flood of money that could be building our future. Let's put a real number on it. How much money do you think you'd have to spend every day to blow through $10,000 in a single year? It's just $27.40. That's it. That could be lunch out, a few streaming services, maybe a couple of drinks with friends. It is shockingly easy to spend.
But now flip that around. What if you found that $27.40 a day in your budget and you invested it instead? Over a 40-year period with average market returns, that tiny amount of money could grow to over $4.4 million. That is not a typo. That is the absolutely life-changing power of compound growth, and it's all unlocked by redirecting small daily habits. And that brings us to the final and most crucial idea. If you're thinking this whole automation thing sounds complicated or like a lot of work, well, I've got news for you. Your financial life is already automated. And this leads to the most important question of all. Your gym, your streaming services, your cell phone company, they have all automated your finances for their benefit. They're taking money from you automatically every month. So isn't it about time you automated your finances for your own benefit? The system is already there. All you have to do is point it in the right direction.